Hello and welcome to this Red Gaming Tech video. Myself and Marta, where as always I'm here with the latest from the tech world in the last 24 or so hours. As you can hear, I'm still a little bit under the weather, so apologies for that. I am slowly getting there, so hopefully soon I won't sound so horribly nasally and stuffed up, and I'll feel a little bit less like death as well. That would just be grand. Anyway, so what do I have for you today? Well, we've got an interesting lawsuit with the iPhone. So what we have here is a lawsuit from an iPhone customer regarding the design of the iPhone XS and XS Mac. Now, what this person is alleging is that Apple, during the launch of this particular device, used a wallpaper that cleverly disguised the notch, basically making it appear, according to this lawsuit, that these devices had an all-screen design. And, well, the customer did not accept this approach and has basically filed a lawsuit against Apple on the grounds that these images were misleading when she pre-ordered one of the phones earlier this year. So, she filed the lawsuit on Friday in California and basically is accusing them of, again, advertising in a way that would hide this notch at the top of the device. She is saying that when she ordered the iPhone XS Max, she didn't think this notch would be there and that she would get an iPhone with an full screen design. Now, a bit of an excerpt here from the actual lawsuit, which reads, quote, "Images that disguise the missing pixels on the product screens are prominent on defendant's website, as well as in the advertisements of retailers who sell the products. These images were relied upon by plaintiff, who believed that the iPhone XS and XS Max would not have a notch at the top of the phone." Now, it isn't just regarding the notch. There is more to this complaint than just that. It is also regarding the display resolution, as this lawsuit also states that Apple is misleading its customers in terms of that display resolution. According to the complainants, they're basically saying that they shouldn't count the pixels on the corners of the phone as they are actually rounded off. Now, at present, Apple have not responded to any requests for comment from Business Insider, who is the source for this particular piece of news. There's also a link in the description below this video to that, and inside their article you will find the full legal documents of the complaint. And out of curiosity, I had a look at the marketing material myself that is currently on the iPhone XS section of the Apple website. You can do this yourself, and there's going to be some images on the screen for your perusal as well. So, as you can see, they have used a kind of sort of black background around, in the background, should I say, of this particular image, like the one that's right at the top of the XS page. But the thing is, like, okay, it does sort of obfuscate it a little bit, I suppose you could argue, but I can still see it. It's still there, and by no means am I under any illusion that there's not a little notch on the corner there. I can still see it. It's sure a little bit hidden, I suppose, but it's still there, and I can even see it on some of these smaller thumbnail images that they have available as well. So obviously, it's hard to say whether or not this lawsuit is going to go anywhere. I'm not a lawyer, obviously. But I don't think this is going to go very far, to be quite frank with you. But, of course, I could very much be wrong. But that's not all I have for you, of course, today. No. I actually have something rather interesting from AMD RTG. So what we have here this time is that we have another key person over at AMD who has left the company, or is leaving the company, should I say. But this isn't a case of them leaving for Intel or another company. No, what we instead have here is the RTG boss, Mike Rayfield, has retired. But what makes this more interesting than just that is that there are some sources that are claiming that this is not just an ordinary retirement. According to the sources of WCCFtech.com, their sources saying that Mike Rayfield had been disengaged from his responsibilities and had even had a quote-unquote abrasive attitude in his day-to-day activities. And I've got a direct quote here from the WCCF article, which of course will be linked in the description below this video, which reads, quote, "Rayfield was disengaged and very superficial. He would delete all his emails each week that he could not get around reading and would never work weekends or after 5 PM. He would pontificate in an abrasive manner and couldn't remember the names of his peers." Rayfield denied to Lisa Su that there was a talent problem and the talent that had recently exited from AMD wasn't really an issue. He denied that there was a talent war going on. He presented suggestions that weren't really feasible, such as Radeon 7, which was to be a Vega 20-based consumer-facing part that cost $750 to build and would barely tie in with a GTX 1080 Ti. Of course, AMD are denying that this is anything more than ordinary retirement, of course. And there is an official statement here which reads, quote, AMD denies the above and states that Mike's choice to leave the company is based on his own personal choice to retire, spend more time with his family, and has nothing to do with his performance. And they also stated that they were unaware of any issues with his performance. But whether or not you believe them is up to you, because they're obviously not going to admit to any issues. There perhaps, could be legal problems if they were to do that with Mike and all that sort of stuff as well. It's hard to say. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't work at AMD. Not last time I checked, anyway. But it is interesting that there's all this chatter surrounding his leaving of the company. Of course, this is from an anonymous source, so take from it what you will, is all I will say. Just take it under your hat, I suppose. Anyway, the next topic is actually regarding the next-gen Xbox. Naturally, there has been a lot of talk and discussion as to the next-gen Xbox. Of course, there's been some rumours surrounding it. Obviously, it's been sort of bandied around as Xbox Scarlet. But at least according to a tweet from Jez Corden, or Corden, not sure on the pronunciation there, to be honest, of Windows Central, we're going to be seeing the development kit codenamed Anaconda. It says, quote, the next-gen Xbox dev kit is codenamed Anaconda in keeping with the reptile theme. Current dev kit is Chuckwalla, previous was Durango. And obviously those were the code names for the current and previous generations, as you guys will know, especially if you've been on this channel, because we discussed those very same names quite an awful lot before the Xbox was actually revealed. So it's an interesting one, to be honest. But, of course, this is far, far from an official confirmation that this is the official name for the development kit, and of course, it is not any indication that this is going to be even slightly related to the actual name of the thing, as I already said. The Durango was the Xbox One, and obviously they're very, very different in terms of the actual name, and obviously there's Project Scorpio, and obviously there's the name Xbox Scarlet being bandied around as well. So do just take this with a pinch of salt as per usual. So we're going to finish up, should I say, with something rather interesting just regarding the industry at large. Now, the topic of the crunch is something that we have discussed numerous times here on this channel and has been discussed by pretty much every news/opinion/gaming channel, website, carrier pigeon, pretty much in the history of planet Earth, because it's become more and more apparent the conditions that some developers are being made to work under, the insane hours they're being made to do, especially as a game approaches release. And of course, that was all that kerfuffle recently surrounding the alleged unpaid overtime and everything else regarding the development of Red Dead Redemption 2. And kind of in line with that, we have the very first Games Industry Union, which is the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain. They have actually given us a UK chapter of Game Workers Unite. So they have made a new union just for game workers, and it's going to be holding its first meeting, should I say, this weekend. And they describe themselves as, quote, worker-led democratic organisation that represents and advocates for UK game workers. So obviously their main sort of focus points at the moment, at least, is to end excessive and unpaid overtime, which is something we have discussed numerous times, diversity and inclusion, obviously a living wage for everybody, as well as going against harassment in the workplace. And if you're at all curious, they are open to current, former and prospective workers, and it is, again, signing members from today. But they had someone actually ask on their Twitter feed, I suppose you could say, whether or not they're a UK citizen working abroad would actually be able to apply, and they said, quote, you'll be eligible to join if you're planning on working in the UK in the near future. But while abroad, there's little UK union could do to protect you as we rely on UK employment law. So for those of you wondering, this is sort of UK for the moment, but I would really like to see something similar in the US as well. But there's obviously a ton of game studios here as well as in America and obviously in other countries as well. So I'm really pleased to see this. We definitely need more of this, to be honest, because it's definitely an area where there's definitely a lot of controversy and discussion that needs to be had. Obviously, we've had similar discussions in the past with the whole voice actors union thing that happened last year as well. So hopefully we can see some sort of positivity at least start to happen with this sort of thing being made. So that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching. You will find all the links I've mentioned in the description below this video. Do check them out if you're at all curious. But thanks again for watching, guys. Your support really does mean a huge deal to us. Hope you're going to have a lovely Christmas next week, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.